Hello, welcome everyone to the Golden Grotto Lounge, our personal hideout in the Caribbean, and I'm here with my illustrious guests, 3 of them tonight. So the Golden Grotto is filled to the brim, the drinks are flowing, the piano man is playing, and with me tonight is Yannick Zenhäusern. Regular followers of the podcast will know him as Maestro, or the composer of my music for the videos, for the films that I do. Hello, Yannick.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. Glad to be back again one more time.
Very, very
The last
nice.
time, probably.
Oh, no. Come on. The last episode with you was so successful when we spoke about Pierce Brosnan's era as Bond. People loved that and really reacted to that in a nice way. So you should be here more often. I know the boat trip is exhausting, but yeah.
Yeah, but I saw that just after we recorded, actually, or after we were in the Golden Grotto, I saw it on Twitter that it's actually just trending, the whole thing with the poll saying that Pierce Brosnan is now voted the worst Bond of them all. Which is, come on.
Bullshit.
Complete bollocks. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Also with us tonight is my good friend Jorrit, who came all the way from the Netherlands, and you brought along a new face to the Golden Grotto Lounge. Jorrit, tell us about it.
Hey, Benji. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Who did you bring along
Great.
today?
Well,
Who is your friend?
This is Vighnesh, and he edited the upcoming video about the Aston Martin DBS V12 that's going to be released soon on our platform.
Oh, that one. The one that everybody's looking forward to. Very nice. Good evening, Vighnesh.
Hey there. Thanks for having me on the show.
You're welcome. And you wanted to speak about music today, am I right?
Yeah, it sounds great. I'm a filmmaker myself and also a composer, so it's great to meet Yannick there. I heard some of your work. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's very inspiring.
Thank you.
So, it's just great to be part of this gathering, and let's talk about Bond and their fantastic soundtracks.
Absolutely. You and Yannick have fun. Yorick, we go downstairs.
Can I have a drink, by the way?
Absolutely. Let's.
No, thank you.
Attention to the. What are you drinking, Jorrit? What are you having?
It's a simple apple juice with something in it. But Barbara pays, so I'm having a lot.
Simple apple juice with something in it. You heard that? Okay. So, well, this was worth the trip.
Quite an order.
Yeah, that was worth the trip. Yannick, what are you having? Guessing something along the lines of coffee, tea, or cognac?
No, sparkling water.
Oh, sparkling
Simple
water.
and plain.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Sparkling water. You make it really worthwhile tonight. Vighnesh, what can we get you?
Yeah, I would like some, some vodka martini shaken not stirred.
Thank God.
There you go.
Finally.
Let's make it cliche,
My man. Thank
Saved.
you. Yeah. You heard that? 2 non-alcoholics and 2 regulars. Thank you.
And shake a leg. Come on, hurry up.
Don't insult
I don't
the
drink.
staff.
I don't drink, but I just need to have it, beside me. So, just love the smell.
I will drink yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drink rarely.
Oh, good, great.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
yeah, rarely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna
So
believe
all
that.
those champagne cases in the corner. There's Benji Lind all over it. What's happening? He's sending them back to Switzerland, or what the hell?
Well, there's always.
Where's it from?
It's always a backlash.
Switzerland isn't big enough to store all these crates.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. They store a lot of things, so.
you nasty big man.
Oh, ouch. Oh, that hurt. Wow.
Well, I said big, not. I mean big in terms of forget it.
No, you meant big in terms of Valentin Zukovsky, not Jaws kind of big. Yeah.
Case closed.
Right.
Vighnesh,
I think I'll take a sip now.
what kind of music is your favorite?
I love soundtracks, so actually everything. If you watch great movies, all kind of genres go through it, right? So Bond themes have been my favorite. I'm grown up with Pierce Brosnan with Goldeneye, and the opening theme is one of my favorites. It's so greatly designed, and it's a kind of 90s era music. And after that, David Arnold, of course, came into picture, and he made great symbiosis of music, symbiotic music of this classical orchestra, and then this break beats through it. So I would say definitely soundtracks, and especially Bond music.
What is your favorite Bond soundtrack?
I think I have to choose between GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, the next round is on me.
Yeah, because
That's absolutely wow. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, Eric said did a great job bringing this industrial sound and very sleek design.
Yeah.
But they had some creative issues, so they asked, let me get his name right. I think it's John.
We can ask Barbara.
John Altman.
John Altman, right?
Yep.
John Altman. So
Right
he brought in some classical orchestral pieces for the tank scenes and things like that. Okay. So I guess the whole package together, it's just one of the greatest Bond games which has been released has this GoldenEye influenced music, which is just imprinted in so many younger generations. So I would say that many work of David Arnold is great, and I love, of course, it's a bit cliche, John Williams, the greatest composer for me. And beside that, Jerry Goldsmith and John Barry, of course. I mean,
But
yeah,
GoldenEye
they're great influence.
is really an unusual. Not many people say GoldenEye is their favorite
Exactly.
soundtrack. It gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, please go ahead.
If I may just, thanks. Yeah. I guess GoldenEye is more of a sound design than just, music, and it does its job very well. Yeah. I mean, just seeing the Ferrari and the Aston Martin racing, and you just see it's a minimalistic soundtrack that emphasizes the mood of the movie and everything that's happening. So, composing wise, it's just a masterpiece. But I can imagine that if you're so traditional Bond fan that you do miss these orchestral fanfare, and so it's understandable that people don't like it. It could be a hit and miss, but if you look at the design, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Well, they completely redesigned the Bond films after the last one before that, like License to Kill. So the music has changed as well. I had to make a big new decision to make the films more popular again, because the revenues of License to Kill weren't that good. So they tried, and they had, of course, a long wait between those films. So it had to be one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And I think they succeed.
And they didn't take a chance. I mean, the producers went to, like you mentioned his name already, to Eric Serra, because they clearly loved his work, and he had that he had nailed that, like you said before, that 90s industrial sound. And you could hear an Eric Serra soundtrack, and you knew from the first beat that it was work done by him. Unfortunately, the last couple of years, he has kind of more adapted to the standard Hollywood sound. But in the 90s, it was just him. And I remember specifically, for instance, I think the first time that I actually really noticed Eric Serra's music was in both GoldenEye and The Fifth Element. And I always had the feeling that it was, like you said, it's so nice sound design. And I think you find more people listening to like more traditional music, like you say, let's say White Knight, for instance. Okay, that's a classic that a lot of people listen to from the Tomorrow Never Dies album. But you seldomly hear people consciously listen to the GoldenEye Overture, because like you say, when I played it to a friend who's not a massive fan of soundtracks or Bonds, he listens to the first part of the GoldenEye Overture and he says, "What is that? It's a couple of clanks and clongs and what
anvils."
Yeah, what's going on there? But like you say, and that's why I love this conversation. I love it so much. I listen to the GoldenEye Overture practically maybe 200 to 300 times a year. It's my absolute favorite piece of film music, because like you say, the sound design of it in itself is absolutely, it's breathtaking. And it's actually what made me fall in love with film scores in the first place, because it is a perfect combination between what you see, what you feel, and what you hear. The music on the lines, what you see, and the whole tone of the movie, the damp colors and everything, the whole Soviet Russian thing, it just goes along with it so perfectly. It's like a marriage, and that's why I think the producers did just the right thing to get Eric Serra for that. I have also already said that I couldn't have imagined Eric Serra having done a Bond score before GoldenEye or after GoldenEye. It was the perfect marriage there. Like I could have also not imagined David Arnold having done GoldenEye. It would have been a great soundtrack, of course, but it would not have had the same impact and the same like uniqueness.
Great, I totally agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's dark, it's industrial, it's very thematic. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you can just remember this, beep, bap, bap, boom, boom, boom. You know, you just hear this Ferrari coming into the picture, and it just, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
But that is a very particular choice, because even diehard Eric Serra and GoldenEye score fans mostly point out the car chase music to be sort of weird and funky.
Yeah.
It's very funky.
I mean, you know,
Yeah,
the moment
indeed.
that Ferrari just starts spinning, it's just, you know, it's just so great.
Right. And what particularly do you love about it? Or maybe all of you can answer. Let's just focus on the GoldenEye Virtue to start with. What do you love about that piece of music? Maybe you can go into more detail a little bit.
Yeah, you know, the minimalistic idea behind it, the silence, you know, the missing of the many notes, that's making it so special, actually. And I love fanfares. I mean, come on, John Williams, everything is fanfare, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So this is such a reboot. It is a reboot of Bond, and the music is a reboot as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that it got that freedom because it was a reboot. And you know, he just comes into the picture in one of the first trailers, and he shoots down the numbers. He said, "You're expecting someone else," you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, come on, you know, this is the new Bond. And just look at the gun barrel. It's one of the first gun barrels with the black reflection,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which was not just cheaply animated. It was just really, you know, this sleek design.
Yeah.
So I guess it is the all the information that you don't directly pick up, what's in the music, in the design of the tone, the darkness, you know, it's almost Hans Zimmer, you know. So
Oh no.
I mean, not in one of like
No.
Batman.
Don't let's bring up Hans Zimmer, please.
Let's not bring it Hans Zimmer. But what I want to say is that the way he totally rebooted Batman,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like fanfare of Danny Elfman. I love Danny Elfman's work. So if you compare it to the minimalistic design,
I see.
that's more what I meant to do.
Conceptually, yes,
So-
understand.
Exactly, conceptually.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I think that gives people like the space for interpretation. You know, if you don't show everything, there's more space to fill in your own vibe or your own feelings or your own tunes in between. And I think that's what Eric Serra did so well. He just removed everything and just kept what's important to emphasize the scenes.
Yeah.
Don't knock on Largo's door, by the way. It's not not recommended.
Yeah.
It sounded like the
He's too
gong for
busy
dinner.
selling the eggs. yeah. I have some schnapps, by the way.
Oh, God.
And you guys, Jorrit and Benjamin, talking about the GoldenEye version, I mean, one thing I have to bring up as well is just the drum beat goes so hard. It's, you know, you know, this kind of thing. And by the way, just I've talked about this in one video, but it's very old. That drum beat, actually, I've been able to recover it. It was from a very rare 90s loop CD. So there we were all thinking that
really?
for many years and decades that he did all the sound design himself. And most of the sounds and drum beats from GoldenEye are actually from sample CDs. So I was
Really?
and I thank God that I could recover that CD and find the original thing where the very same GoldenEye Virtue drum loop was on. So that's very
That's
cool.
great.
But,
You know,
Wow.
I used to do this stuff, you know, look at who sampled who, you know,
Yeah,
those kind
exactly.
of stuff. And I love Enigma as well. I'm not sure if you know that.
Yeah.
Enigma is, I mean, it's great music. So I usually look up all the samples what he has used, you know. So but that's great to know, so that you found out these samples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Benjamin,
The thing I
yeah,
We
sorry,
didn't
just
talk about you know, the opening theme and Tina Turner, but we can come back to it later. I'll let
Yes,
Jorrit
yes.
say something as well, I guess.
I love the build up in the adventure. It starts very small, it gets bigger and bigger, and the music develops, comes to a big peak, and then it slows down again after he goes up with the plane when he saves himself, of course. And I love the suspense. It's a great build up to what's going to happen, and it's also when you see it cinematically, it's filmed especially the first few minutes. It's filmed very small, very tight in. It's not
Confined,
big.
yeah.
It's not like, wow, we have super size sets. Of course, we have to jump. We have to talk about the moment when he jumps and the music goes completely silent. It's just that. Where you can pull off that moment in the film and then music-wise, just to almost cut the audio and then make it a great scene. Well, then you have something special, because most of the time when the sound falls away, people think, oh, what's happening? But in GoldenEye, it's just the moment that he jumps and the suspense is not the biggest, and then that's what Sarah did so well. He just almost cuts the music, and then of course the great introduction, with then the moment when he hits the guard, then you get a build up in the music, like the bow, you know, and then it's on, and then it's developing again, and then he meets Alec, and then it's quite easy, and then when the action starts, get this great things. It's wow, that's what I really like about the music.
But is let's say the GoldenEye Overture or the whole GoldenEye soundtrack, is it something that you for yourself can listen to isolated, or do you always just consume it in the context of the movie when watching the movie?
I think in images. So when I hear a soundtrack, I always say the images. So I don't have to see the film literally. I always know what happens when I heard a part of the soundtrack. So it's not really needed for me to see it, but it's always a plus, of course, with things together. But I listen to it in the car when I'm driving.
I fully agree about the dynamic range, not just in the scene itself, but the instruments. You know, it's such great. So just for that, I used to play it when I have a new hi-fi system or whatever, or a new speaker. I just play that chase scene, and you had the, you know, it's just great.
We even tried it in my car. He had to hear that. So it's a sample stuff to test the goodness of stereo systems. So. It's also a big passion of yours, right? The gear for music, speakers, receivers, and so on, Vighnesh, right?
Oh yeah, I've built my whole home system. You know, the Dolby Atmos. I just love speakers, and electrotechnique is something that I've studied before my film stuff. So you know, I like to tinker and take things apart and put it back together. So
but then I think you love the electronic part of Serra soundtracks and Arnold
that's
soundtracks.
True. That's a good one. He did use much synthesizers, but yeah, that's true. That's a good one. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
There's the
good
connection.
thing you said about the build-up, the suspense, and then the silence when the jump occurs from the dam.
Yep.
This is an underrated thing most people don't think about, and most of the time I make a distinction between the score and the soundtrack, because in the old Hollywood days, the soundtrack was sound effects and music was on a separate track. So the soundtrack is very much the soundscape you hear in the film, and when the music is taken away in GoldenEye, from when he jumps off the dam, there is silence, and the only sound effect that comes after that is when he fires the piton gun to get himself down there. And this is very, very interesting, because recently I started rewatching all the Hitchcock films, and this was an element he often used: silence. And it is overlooked in most films.
Absolutely.
And
that's right.
When you, for example, when you take North by Northwest by Hitchcock, there's a 6-minute
fantastic
scene where there is silence. I mean, Cary Grant is taken almost to the desert, deserted country. That's how it looks like. He's getting off a Greyhound bus, and he stands there waiting for somebody he's supposed to meet. And nothing happens. There is no music. There is not a big soundscape. There is just some wind noises. And then when this man finally arrives, they don't speak, because he doesn't know who is that man. The other man doesn't know who is that man. And there's nothing. And in GoldenEye, you have the same thing. I mean, you see what is on screen. You are not uncertain about what is happening. In Hitchcock films, you are left very much uncertain about what is going to happen. But in the Bond films, it doesn't happen that often. I think this is the only instance where you can speak of a several-second silence that is of some importance, you know. And maybe it
Well,
would have
isn't
also
there,
worked
just-
when he was confronting Trevelyan in the Statue Park. Maybe there it would also would have worked with silence. Sometimes less dialogue makes it more suspenseful, but certainly the overture is mainly suspense.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but
Just the
we cannot. Vighnesh.
Well, okay. Just the monocular shot from Pierce, you know, that's also a moment of silence. He doesn't say anything. So there are, exactly. There are
The eyes.
so many iconic scenes that the silence plays such a role. You know, if there is silence, then you can digest.
Yeah.
But actually, we have to be careful because in a movie there is never silence. Really, it's
No, that's true.
um,
You hear something.
Yeah,
there
you
is
hear
some noise. There's some wind
Ambience
noise.
noise.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing. But many people don't notice. And sorry, Benjamin, for bringing this example up. But for instance, there are a lot of scenes in the old Star Wars movies where you think, in hindsight, that there were scenes where like absolute silence. But there's also always a rumbling of a spaceship, or there's always wind, for
course.
instance, or something like that. So it's never silence. And one thing is very important. You brought it up and you mentioned it, Benjamin, because every composer who understands his craft, I'm talking about film music composer, knows that the pauses are as important as the notes that you write. And I think that sometimes that is overlooked a little bit. Yeah.
Why did
I
you
want to
say,
bring up one
why did
example.
you say sorry for bringing up Star Wars?
I know you're not a big Star Wars fan. That's why.
The music is great. Come on. John
I
Williams,
love the
my
movies
goodness.
also. I think it's
Yeah,
great
yeah.
I like
stuff.
it. I do quite enjoy them, but I haven't seen them as often as the Bond or some others. But
Of course. Right. Yeah.
you're it.
Yeah, I wanted to bring one example up from not a much loved composer, Mr. Zimmer. But I really liked the Dark Knight, the Dark Knight music that he made. That's a thing we can agree a bit on.
No, not at all.
No, not at all. Okay, but I'd rather bring up.
No, but go ahead. I'll just tune out for a couple of minutes. It's
I want to
okay.
bring up one silenced moment in the Dark Knight. When he the first sequences when he Batman goes to the bank where the robbery's happening with the Joker and all his goons. There is also a brief moment. I think it's 20 to 30 seconds when you hear nothing. It's all ambient, but there is sound, and the sound that there is the deepest bass that you can play, probably on a good sound system, because when you have your headphones on, you don't hear it. For instance, your AirPods or something, you don't hear it because that's not in the range. But when you have the famous Sony headphones or the good Beats, you hear that very deep bass, and it's when you play it hard, it's even hurtful for your eyes, for your ears. I said, for
your eyes only.
For your ears, and I think that's also an example for where the composer uses the suspense in the sequence to almost cut out the music.
You have an example, right?
Great example.
Jorrit, in our DBS, there is a piece of silence. We're not going to say when it's going to happen, but we do the
That's
silence.
also, that's true.
Yeah.
You have to have good audio to hear that moment. So
Yeah.
there's also one of those moments in our video.
Okay, looking forward to it. Would you
absolutely,
say there is a scene somewhere in the Bond films, you can pick any Bond film, where you would say this would have worked better without music?
Ooh, tough one. I think a recent one. I think No Time to Die. I think the scenes on the graveyard when he's thinking about Vesper with all what happened, and he's trying to forgive her via a note. Okay, why would they use music there? I think it's such a harsh moment. He's in that sequence when he finds out everything that happens comes to this, and just give it some wind, give it some ambient.
Yeah, you know what?
Then-
I think in No Time to Die, the music was not the problem. I think everything else was the problem, but the music. To be honest, I would have rather had the
I
music
have
than
to
the
agree
movie.
for you on that.
And that considering
as-
your love for Hans Zimmer, so that is a big statement to make.
Yeah, right. Sorry, Jorrit, that was rude. I didn't want to interrupt. Excuse me.
No worries, no worries. No, I don't like all Zimmer soundtracks, but I liked the things that he did for the best trilogy, Batman trilogy we ever had. So, in my opinion, then that I think it fits, and that's the typical Zimmer things that are all over it. Popular these days to bring a character, a well-known piece of music. Of course, we have Bond with the Bond theme, but when you watch the Marvel films, every character has its own theme, and they use it throughout the movies. So,
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I think it's not. I mean, we have talked about the Live and Let Die soundtrack before, and it's a great soundtrack, and
Mhm.
I love the name just escaped me.
Martin.
George
George
Martin.
Martin. George Martin. I mean, he's fantastic. The sound is amazing, but I think in tendency he tends to overuse the Bond theme a bit. It gets a
Mhm.
bit too much.
Mm.
For instance, let me just pick a random scene that comes to mind is when Roger Moore is like looking through his hotel room, and there's just the Bond theme is constantly
Yeah.
playing and playing and playing. And I mean, the problem with the Bond theme, or let's say just the basic chord progression, which is nothing more than a standard jazz chord progression, which has been around since the 20s. So that's
Mhm.
not a great invention there, but that is such a simple thing. It's great, but
Yeah.
the problem with simple things is they get old hearing after a certain while. So there were just times when at Live and Let Die, I think, okay, yeah, tone down. It's not really a Bond moment, step back a bit. And I mean, I love the
But
Bond stuff, but so
but do you agree that David Arnold is using the Bond theme too much then?
you know what the thing is? Yes, I agree, and he also said in interviews that he deliberately overused it, and I mean, it's constantly
Especially,
Tomorrow Never Dies is
to,
practically is 90% of the music is the Bond theme,
I
but
thought it was The World Is Not Enough, but
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But every piece is sort of different and has a lot of dynamic movements in it. While the compositions of George Martin, of course, as well, the fact that it was done in the 70s, it all sounds the same.
Hmm.
It's always with that clavinet,
Yeah.
boom, blang,
Yeah.
boom, blang for 5 minutes. And David
Yeah.
Arnold has a lot of different structures in his songs and in his score, and so
That's
it it,
that's
it
true.
it's
Yeah.
used a lot, yes, but it doesn't jump in your
Think
face
that
as
it's
much.
Do you think that it has to do with the period of time that they were made, those films? Because
Sure.
we have
Yeah.
now so much more computerized stuff, so much more tracks that you can use. You can
Right.
sample everything, and thought that in the '70s it was most of the time it was analog. So he played
Yeah.
it in, and then he put it on a piece of film, audio film, and then he put it on the table. He mixed it, and he cut it with the scissors, and he put it together, and
Uh,
that's.
yeah, also, but it's also just how soundtracks were done back in those days. I mean, there were different rules, so to speak, than compared to nowadays. It's just you
Hmm.
could get by with these things. And I mean, if you look at the Errol Flynn films, for instance, all this thing, it's a lot of these repetitive tunes, and it's also you didn't have that. You had, I mean, basically, what did George Martin have? He had a small band with a couple of electronic instruments. He had his orchestra, of course, but there's only so much you can do, and that's also the thing with John Williams. I mean, he's an absolute genius, but you can always hear it's John Williams, no matter
Yes,
which movie you see.
true. True.
That's
Very
what I
bombastic.
love of John Barry. I mean, he could make so many themes beside the James Bond theme.
Yeah,
You know, if you have the
Out of
little Nelly
Africa.
scene,
Yeah.
little Nelly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's Bond, but it's not Bond. And
Right.
he's so playful. He uses his orchestra so well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just amazing. It's a kid with instruments, but he really does it well. Thematic, you can remember it, you can sing it again, and it matches, the era.
And it's also a lot of fun to listen to. I mean, recently there was the release from La La Land Records of the Octopussy soundtrack. And I love to collect, and I usually, when I get a new Bond soundtrack, I do a compilation for myself of all the Bond moments, because those are my favorite things. And when you put all the Bond themes, 007 themes from Octopussy behind each other, you could think that he just copied, this da 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 da, then the thing he copied all that, but it's every time it's slightly different, it's mixed differently, it's arranged slightly differently, so it never sounds the same. And that again is a testament to John Barry, of course. He could have written it once and just use it like 10 times throughout the movie, and that's it.
What's interesting is
Indeed.
that you just say, because I do the same thing with Mission Impossible.
Right.
I cut
Exactly.
just the bits of the Mission Impossible theme together from every soundtrack, and it's so boring and so repetitive, but it's true. You see the layers in the arrangement, and there have been many composers after the original composer doing arrangements of that. It is one of the most copied themes of the 20th century after Bond, or before Bond, you never know. And what they did with it, each composer giving this theme the own interpretation, is something very, very thrilling. And of course, this is also an overused theme, because it is used when something, you can't even say something Bond-like happens, because Mission Impossible, you wouldn't say something Ethan Hunt-like happens. It's generally when the team does something, or when something is successful, or when suspense is built up. But it's like a mission success theme, sort of like that. And the way it is done within the score, how it's woven into the score, is sometimes very, very intelligently. And then, of course, the end credits, you have always a big variation on that. And I don't know why I listen to that. I walk around looking like a dumb spy.
That's great, this bombastic ending with all the teams together, with faces from one to the other, and here is the ending, listen to it all again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it is a great theme. It is a great theme. And,
absolutely.
I think the best variation.
I always see the matches.
It started in 2003, where I don't know who composed it. I think it was Michael Giacchino, who went away from this classic da 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 and made it da 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 da. So he added notes in his arrangement.
Yeah, that was with the third one.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. It worked brilliantly. I don't like the newer ones because there's a lot of drums in it for the build-up, and you expect something really grand, something really big, and then it's mostly electronic.
Especially, the thing with the last one is it's very militaristic.
Yeah.
So much drums, trumpets, like the fast drum plays. So, but it fits the movie, I think.
Yeah.
I think they did it very well.
Yeah.
But there was one of those movies, I thought it was Ghost Protocol, where the intro is almost 4 minutes for the build-up. It's not like the credits roll and there you have the music. And I thought it was Ghost Protocol, or it was the one after that. But I think they did a very cheeky thing with the new film, because they had much more characters to introduce. So if you listen to the theme, it starts like the normal theme, and then they do a and they fill the rest of the cast in. So like a small build up, and then whoop, it goes again. Like it's almost glued together, but a bit too rough for my opinion. But I have to agree. But it's very much used, and it's what you said, like the success for the team of when they drive away in Rome with the small car with the
I'm sorry.
The 500.
I must say that I love the Danny Elfman score from the first movie. When he's hanging on the train, it's just amazing.
And in
I
that
think he even
film,
used some cuckoo clocks.
And in that film is also the famous, let's still call it silence in the server room, because this is a scene where being quiet was very important. So and going back to Bond and overusing themes. What I always hated, and it feels odd to watch, in From Russia with Love, when he goes to his hotel room and the Bond theme plays, the original Bond theme, he does nothing Bond-like, and it's so misplaced. But what would I have put there? Would I have composed a piece of music like Bond's hotel room or something like that? Checking in, something along those lines, but it's so misplaced.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one.
And recently, in many discussions, it came up because it's the 60th anniversary of Goldfinger. This topic will come up lot of times this year. The music for Goldfinger, of course. Many people call it legendary, iconic. But then there's the screaming trumpets in the approach to Fort Knox, which literally screams in your ear, and it hurts my ears. It's I should love it, but I don't.
So yeah, but is there more in the soundtracks that you guys know that you think it's overused? Not only the Bond theme, but the music. Like, if there are maybe scenes that are sad or happy and they just use the wrong music, do you think that there are occasions that those things happened?
I always look a little bit towards A View to a Kill, because it has this very brilliant composition by John Barry, the slow theme of A View to a Kill. This is the title theme that he repeats. It's nice when you look at it apart from the film, when you listen to it without watching the film. It's a really great love theme, but I think that was overused too much. And it's also weird because Moore was too old at that time for his counterpart, Bond girl. It just feels a tiny bit off. But
and you know what is really off? It just springs to mind now. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, there's one place where really the music is, if you ask me, it's not the wrong music, but it sticks out like a sore thumb. Do you know which scene I'm talking about?
Is it in the barn? No.
I'm going to tell you.
Oh, is it when Blofeld, when he confronts Blofeld of Christmas music? You think that?
No.
Okay.
No. Actually, it's the scene when they have the fight up in the Pitt's Glory in the restaurant and everything, and they use the original James Bond theme back from the first movie. It's so misplaced. It's the original, and I mean that recording has been played so many times. I mean that is really overused already, and it just if you see the brilliant soundtrack John Barry had written for the whole movie, I have no idea why in the hell in this kind of climatic scene they're using the old theme from all the way back. I mean it doesn't fit at all if you ask me. No. It's really distracting.
That's true, and the quality is totally different to the rest of the score.
Exactly. It sounds. Yeah, it's like
good one.
Yeah, that's the one that's yeah.
It should have had the 007 theme. Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Which is also
anything
from Russia with Love, but so I think where they recorded in mono, probably, yeah. You hear it,
and of course, you hear it absolutely. Yeah, it's mono and it's the older technology, and of course, also Dr. No. Of course, taken into consideration was the first step. It was the first Bond movie. But, the whole kind of what I always disliked was in the beginning with the dots and everything. You had this weird kind of, I don't know, satellite-like. Yeah, that's really, I think, it's like, I don't know, it's like a kindergarten cop or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a game.
And talking about overusing the Bond theme, my goodness. It almost sounds as the only thing they had. And they were using many other artists for filling up the soundtrack. Like there wasn't that much composing going on for the film. Most of the time you're using other sounds, songs, local songs even. And that's of course good, but yeah.
And I don't know
what do you guys think about the Lotus scene. It's so overused music, but it's so great.
That's very well done by Mr. Conti, I think it was, or was it?
It was Bill Conti. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel Bill Conti. I always hear Rocky. And I can't put these two together. That's what always distracted me.
But we listened to Conti in your car when we were driving the Serpentine roads to Italy. You liked it there. That was the opening.
But then it suits the location, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's all of it is bad. I'm just saying. I mean the music from I don't know the names of the scenes.
Ski show.
Exactly. The ski chase. That's just it sounds like from a Rocky movie to me.
It's very 80s.
They're not all bad pieces. Yeah. And I mean, the submarine and so on, they're great pieces. I mean, really, it's not to say the whole soundtrack is bad, but I think the sound design it's not really for a Bond movie, for my taste at least.
And what about crazy songs on crazy places, like the beginning of View to a Kill with the Beach Boys? What do you think about that, then? No. Largo is hitting on the door. He's not agreeing. He's not agreeing. Stop this! Stop it!
Do this. No. This is.
And what about these underneath the mango tree and those kind of songs?
That's typical for the location.
Yeah, right.
The films were filmed. It's very
Part
much
of the setting.
That works.
Yeah, but it was also very popular on the island. So
no, but
they used it.
Jump Up.
Yeah, but you have to
is
say
one I
general.
like.
Yeah, but then you have to say let's name a couple of other examples. The Clash in Die Another Day.
London Calling,
No,
yeah.
no.
Yes,
And then
yes.
the other one is the Western theme. Where do they have the Western theme?
Oh, in Moonraker.
The Western thing.
No, you can't do these. Come on, what is that? Is it a kindergarten show? I don't get that.
Or
No, I
Dirty
don't
Love.
like it.
Again.
Dirty Love in License to Kill.
Dirty. Oh yeah.
It was so upbeat,
No,
and
that's
then
a
there's
bit
this
too much.
old man dancing near the pool. Dirty love. Dirty love.
Looking at all the
That
pretty-
it sounds like
Let's
a
look at this.
like a Eurovision Song Contest entry, because the lyrics are so fine. It's basically just dirty love.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, Miami, 12 points. Yeah, 12 points. Yeah,
Oh.
great, fantastic. No, but underneath the mango tree is okay. As you said, it's part of the location. It's part of the vibe of the feel of the film. Also, Jump Up was a really brilliant composition. It's even better when a real orchestra in stereo plays it, like the Roland Shaw Orchestra. We did a recording of that. And in the film, they don't even sing at the same time where the lyrics are sung. So it's totally
That's true.
off and weird, but it fits nicely because there was an actual band singing. Dirty Love.
But
you didn't see
I'm
a
just
singer.
making an ass of myself. But I would Jump Up. Please help me.
Jump up, jump up.
Jamaica.
Da-da-da, jump up, jump up.
Jamaica,
Da-da-da,
jump
jump
up
up, jump
music.
up. Jamaica, everybody just jump up. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. No is so out there anyway. So
I hear Largo singing. Largo is
Yeah.
singing.
Oh,
Take
okay.
a pretty girl, make a whirl, and then both begin again. Jump up.
Oh,
the
yeah.
very time
Oh,
that
yeah, I
that
see.
you'll
I
be
remember.
doing
I
the
remember.
Jump Up.
Yeah, I see.
Jump up.
Da-da-da.
There's the version in the
copyright
film,
issues right now.
and there's the version that I recorded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
The Fuyak remix.
Hey,
Fuyak?
What? Fuyak remix.
what?
In The Man with the Golden Gun,
Explain.
there wasn't even any additional music, was there? I don't think so.
Well, of course, there's the theme song, Lulu, and
Yeah, but that-
was
yeah.
it, I think, yeah.
Yeah, but no, nothing additional. But Man with the Golden Gun is also a film that gets a lot of hate, and it also has a jubilee
Yeah.
this year.
But again, but like we've talked before, it's a great alternate theme. It has the dung 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 dung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Da da da.
That's
true.
Oh wow.
That was the Fuyak remix.
Oh, there it is. Finally.
But you can instantly
now you
sing
know
it,
why.
you know?
Yeah, now you know why Swiss opera never took off.
Very good point there. And that's how it evolved into yodel.
Yeah,
Oh, there
exactly.
you are. There you are. But it was also in the Man with the Golden Gun is one of the craziest sound effects ever in a Bond film.
Oh,
When he just the barrel.
are you gonna go there? Oh, okay.
Of course, we're talking about soundtracks and sound effects. Why would they do that? Why?
They accidentally
And
left
you
it
guys know-
on the soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys
I
know
think-
if the DB5
Better.
ever had a own team?
Oh,
A DB5 theme.
that's a nice idea, actually. Yeah.
I think it's the Formula One thing about Schumacher. You know that thing? I think that was
But
it.
that's not music. That's just a sound effect.
Yeah, exactly. But Sometimes like Knight Rider.
Oh, there was a.
Ah,
I know one
You could
example.
make a theme music when every time you see the car. It's something iconic of all the Bond movies.
I know.
It's coming back. The Walter PPK and the DB5.
I know one example for a car when it has its own music, and that's in Casino Royale, the famous Ford Mondeo advertising.
Oh yeah.
They they composed a special theme just for that moment to bring that car into view. A slow moment in the film, and then it goes up like You Know My Name theme goes on, and then
That's
it's
the motif,
the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he stops the car, it's and then we go again silent, and then the build up, and it's completely different than all the other parts of the soundtrack, who are also loud and up. But I always think that they made it specially for that car, just to advertise it. So it's a driving advertisement. Of course, there's so much product placement and advertisement in the films, but that's the thing that I really think about when making special music for it. But we talked a lot about the modern soundtracks. What is Vighnesh, your favorite?
Do you guys run around and whistle some of that shite?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Then I have 4 specific pieces I always whistle. 3 of them will be the ones that Yannick also whistles, and 1 is completely off.
Now, guys, take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That's the one. That's the one. When I'm at work in the cellar, at work, I always do that. Or I do The World Is Not Enough. Or when I'm at the stable, when I work with the horses, I always go, which is of course Diamonds Are Forever, this stupid casino theme that I cannot finish because I don't know how it ends. I always forget.
The casino is closed, by the way. They had the last opening night a few days ago. The Tropicana is going to be demolished. So that's the thing. This famous location is going away. Yeah.
Like so many.
They're going to build a honkbal stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the world needs,
Yeah,
Sports.
right, exactly.
Well,
There's no oil anymore.
Never planned on going to Las Vegas anyway.
No.
Indeed.
And let's have some more whistling. What do you guys prefer? Preferably.
Preferably.
Whistler.
I
Wasn't
think you're
there a
looking for it?
character called Whistler?
Yeah. He only says, what was it? Look out. And then he dies. Look out. And then he falls into the thing, and then...
Yeah.
That's
Thank
the
God
only
you say
line
the
he
right
has.
thing. Usually when you say, wasn't there a guy called Whistler? Somebody says, and I say, oh, wrong Bond film. Stop getting Bond wrong.
We get a lot of tweets, hating tweets, by the way.
You guys must know the collaboration of Propeller Heads and David Arnold as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They did this, the Your Majesty's standalone stuff, but also the Backseat Driver in Tomorrow Never Dies. Yeah, that's just, fantastic. I used to play that all the time, whistle it as well. And, of course, the boat scene in World Is Not Enough. Dun, 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 and then just before he jumps out.
Yeah.
And some ski scenes, of course, that the paragliders, if I say correctly, they're coming down. That's some very nice.
Parahawks.
Parahawks, right? Yeah. So, but again, they are modern pieces, I guess. So
we can say that the modern soundtracks is the thing, the ones that you most like, Vighnesh.
I must say that Goldfinger has quite a few nice themes as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Into
I'm not
Miami.
sure it's also yeah, it's just great. The moment I see the movie, I just hear a lot of pieces in my head. So I must say that Barry and David Arnold, they both have great themes.
Yeah.
And the slow Goldfinger theme also works very nicely. You can use it's when you see in the Alpine scenes, And since we always like to do jokes, I always go like moonlighting.
I thought you were going to say
Where it was basically taken from.
The world
It's
is
the
not
shuttle.
enough. Surrender.
The world is not.
It is so wrong. Yeah.
I can't
Stop
recall
getting
the-
Bond wrong.
I can't recall the team, but the moment they steal the gold, I guess in Goldfinger, it's a really beautiful piece of Barry. Just before they enter it, or the Bond takes a while to get there or go out of it, and he has this beautiful piece, which also has a long build-up. It's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to quickly come back to the question was asked before, misplaced music. Another example just comes to mind is, I sometimes confuse the movies a little bit, just the older ones, when you have the boat chase and then you have this very slow version of the yeah, it just doesn't. The scene is so quick and
the scene is also crazy.
Yeah, but you know, the boats are fast. The camera work is quite special, and you have this, and it's not only the theme that is kind of dragging, but it's played very slowly. This just doesn't fit the picture at all.
But the movies from the past, especially from the 60s and the 70s, are in modern standards very slow, incredibly slow.
Yeah.
Pacing is another thing. Yeah.
Benji, you talked about when Bond enters his hotel room in From Russia with Love. That scene is so incredibly slow.
Yeah.
And it works because we see Bond doing spy stuff. Special spies, like the hair in his dressing closet, but he puts it on and he comes back and it's open.
Dr.
It's very
No, my
spy
friend.
thing. Oh, sorry, it's Dr. No. Yeah, I'm confused, but
Aren't we all?
it's the vodka that I think Barbara put the vodka in my my apple juice. So
So now we know what the something. You said apple juice with something in it. Now we know what the something is.
yeah, Barbara holds a flask of vodka for me.
Yeah.
And she pays, of course.
Yep. Belvedere. It's the good Polish stuff. Kurwa.
Yeah.
What about the
Not the
team,
Graz
guys?
vodka.
What are your favorite opening themes?
Define opening.
You know, the intro titles, the music.
The song, the title song.
Songs, yeah.
Okay,
Three
GoldenEye. GoldenEye,
Yeah,
all the
for
way.
me too. The
Yeah.
bass, you know.
Yeah, it sells it all.
It's also minimalistic, right? With
Yeah,
a lot of
right,
space.
right. Yeah.
The theme that I'm most listened to is "The World Is Not Enough."
I-
All the time.
It is sweeping.
All the time.
It's sweeping.
All the time.
I would
Voice
also
and
say
It's my
GoldenEye.
favorite soundtrack.
yeah, GoldenEye too. Benjamin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Oh,
I
you
thought
can
about
listen
it
to
long
it
and
then,
hard just there for
Yeah.
a second. But
Right.
when you said the world is not enough, I was like, no, that's not it. Tomorrow Never Dies. No, that's not it.
No.
And GoldenEye,
Diamonds Are
since it was
Forever.
the first
Oh,
one I heard, being in the cinema and the first exposure to
Yeah.
Bond, it is such a
Same here.
fantastic composition.
Yeah.
It just works on all levels.
And there we go again.
Yeah.
The thing is that the film that you see the first time in the cinema, I think it makes the most impression to you for getting in the Bond fandom. It works for me as well with The World Is Not Enough. It's my favorite, and most of the people say The World Is Not Enough. Is that your favorite film? What are you talking about? It's not that's good, but
No,
It is a
can
very
get on
good
board with that.
film.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not absolutely. I know what you say. It's your introduction, but actually, the first film that I saw in cinema that made me aware of Bond and turned me into a Bond fan was "The World Is Not Enough." But the song, I don't know if I have some. I don't know if it's something with garbage. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
my.
okay.
It's the pick is not that great. I mean, the very
that's
end
true.
bit, the very end bit of "The World Is Not Enough" title song is great, where it really goes. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. You know, all
Yeah.
this stuff. But GoldenEye
But do
is
you
just,
think-
it's just a constant thrill, and it's a showstopper. Whenever I used to, in the radio station where I used to work before, every time it would come on, and I mean, it's a testament to the song again. It's still being played in regular radio stations. And you
But
just
do you-
you just see people, you just notice people just as soon, and it's so silent when it's just a boom, 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 boom. It just instantly grabs your attention because it doesn't scream in your face. It's very subtle, but it says everything. It's perfect.
yeah.
It's subtle, yeah.
But do you guys agree that the end song both Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough were better as the title song. I think for the Tomorrow Never Dies, it will work, but
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, is it too difficult?
Yeah,
It's such a difficult question. Yeah, the vodka is starting to work now. So
You know what? I'm not a big fan of both the songs in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Mhm.
I think
But
that-
is the end credits song better than the title song?
well, it's like choosing between a shit and a turd. I mean, it's
It's not Shelley Betsy or Tina Turner.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a different kind of voice.
Well,
and I always found that thing that is da 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 da, the weird stuff that
Yeah.
like the composition starts and the titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just and it is dum
I don't
dum
like
dum dim dum 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 dim dum dum.
It's quite
I don't
low
know.
vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say we're still very much in the discussion about music, and I see it continuing. But let's let people guess a bit more what we're going to talk more about, because we reached 1 hour, and I would say we order another round of drinks and
Yep,
keep everybody
absolutely.
guessing until next week. So we make a two-parter.
Yes.
The first two-parter
Nice.
of the Golden
All
Grotto
right.
Lounge. So
Nice.
Yes.
let's stay here for a bit, but for you all fine folks out there, you have to wait a week. Isn't that
Kind of
nice?
doomsday machine, boy.
Pak me de tak.
Demonstration, boy.
Nou, money penny.
On that stereotypical note, if you want to leave us any comments, please do so in the, well, here you go, comment section. And we are happy to respond and whatever your wishes are for upcoming topics and whatever. Or if you want to be a guest in the Golden Grotto Lounge, you're cordially invited, of course. Just send me a message or leave a comment under the video. Otherwise, like and subscribe. And thank you guys for tonight. And let's go on for some more. See you next week, everyone.
Watch out for the sharks.
Yeah, till next week.
Da-da-da.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bling. We have just composed an end theme for the podcast on the spot.
Yeah.